How we all doing? Um, I'm sitting in front of this camera for the first time in probably about a week and a half. And the reason being is pretty dramatic and something that I've not found easy. And let's just clarify that for me to not sit in front of a camera for a week and a half means there was a lot going on for that to be an issue. And for me to not want to sit in front of a camera. Now, as most of you know, anxiety is a massive part of my life, and I think I at least mention it once every video. It probably comes up. But recently, it's been an even bigger part of my life. It's affected me in ways I don't think I've ever felt before. I've never had something like it cripple me so much, destroy so many aspects of my life, put so many aspects of my life at risk before. It's never been as bad as it was last week. I've managed today to pluck up the courage, pluck up some energy, and get my anxiety under enough control to be able to sit in front of this camera today and do what I'm about to do. But a week ago, I definitely wouldn't have been doing this, and I don't think I would have even had the energy to try and do this. So today, I'm just going to take you through a few things that happened last week, how last week started, what was going on, in very basic details, because there are stuff that are definitely private and confidential on there. But a basic overview of last week, why I struggled so much, and to most degrees, why there was a week where I didn't even upload one video. And even this week, I haven't really uploaded much. I'm going to explain what the future of this channel may look like. I'm going to explain how my anxiety is going to affect my future career and many other aspects of my daily life. But most importantly, I want you guys to watch this if you have anxiety and be able to relate to it. And again, feel like you're not alone. I've looked at mental health stuff for years. I've, been through a lot of rubbish in my life, and I've seen myself deteriorate in many ways. But this was by far probably the worst deterioration I've seen in many years. Probably worse than the time at the beginning of last year where I was in a pit. I think I just fell into an even deeper pit. And I'm only starting now to pick myself back up. So let's jump into this. Let's go back to the beginning of the last week and talk about a few things. Now, at the beginning of this year, I set mandatory targets for this year. I put down in a diary what my targets were for this year and what I wanted to achieve by the end of 2020. And I thought these goals were amazing. An icon of where I really was. And I was so excited to get going. So excited, actually, that I was going to the library nearly every weekend, at one point every day, to get research in, to get stuff done, and to get the basics of this brand built and ready. Because at that point, I was just rebranding. As the year progressed, it seemed to be going okay. I was building up a routine. I was learning anxiety methods I'd never learned before, and my life was seemingly coming into order. Then a massive pandemic happened, threw everything down the drain hole, and caused a hell of a lot of problems. The schedules I was on pretty much just got thrown sideways. I suddenly had to quit school and leave my friends that I had been with for many years and just kind of be like, see you later. Didn't really have much time to say bye properly. I got told that my GCSEs were suddenly cancelled and I was going to receive grades that were going to be judged by my past. And I was stuck in my house for weeks on end. At the beginning of lockdown, I was anxious, I was nervous, I was like, the world's going to shit, I don't really know what's going to happen. And my anxiety definitely did pick up. But I managed to control it, I managed to flatline it, and get back to some form of routine. And I said to myself at the beginning of lockdown that my main priority during all of this is to focus on you guys, to focus on this channel, and to pump out as much mental health content as I possibly can. And at the beginning of this lockdown period, I was pumping out at least 2 videos every week. Most of the time, 3. I was like, hell yes, this is how I see my life planning out. It gave me a hint of what it was like to work from home every single day. Even though I wasn't making many money out of it, it still gave me that chance, and I was loving it. As time went on, me and my friends started to talk again once we'd got over the shock of what the heck had just happened. And reconnecting with friends was becoming a difficulty. I was finding socialising harder than ever. And I didn't really know what to do with it. It's actually got to the point now where I've cut down on my social activities so much that I pretty much only ever meet up with one person. And that's my girlfriend, or partner in other terms. So that social anxiety, which I suddenly noticed, completely threw me off track. I sat there overthinking everything for hours on end. I didn't really know what I was doing with myself. I could not manage this work and social life. I couldn't fit them in. I couldn't do both at the same time. I was either working or I was socialising. And if I did one, I couldn't do the other. And it was becoming a really difficult balance to get a hang of. I suddenly started to think how pathetic this all seemed. How really lonely and uncautious and self-aware I really was about how deep down my anxiety was actually crippling me, giving me social anxiety I had never seen before. I kept pushing. I wanted to get this website up. I was still trying my very best to keep videos going out as regularly as I possibly could. But it was getting harder and harder each week, and anxiety was taking over. I was, at this point, meeting up with my current girlfriend, who I wasn't dating at the time, but I was meeting up with her extremely regularly. Between that time of starting to meet up with her more regularly, I made 2 very fucked up decisions. I did some horrible shit to 2 people. I made a mistake I will never forget, and I am so sorry to them people if you know who I'm talking to. Now, don't worry, I didn't kill anyone, I didn't assault anyone, I didn't rob them, but I definitely thought I had feelings for people who I didn't. And made some decisions that were the wrong decisions and acted on feelings that I shouldn't have acted on. Luckily, that all come round. At this point, my calendar and my schedule had gone out the window. Normally, I follow a very hectic schedule. I have a to-do list and a calendar, and I follow them in accordance. It got to the point where I'd look at my calendar and think, this is too much. I can't do this. I can't get through everything on my to-do list each day. My anxiety just wouldn't let me do it. Every time I went to do a piece of work, my mind went elsewhere. Started to overthink about how people might be thinking of me, what people are doing right now. Is anyone gonna hurt me? And the stomach turning come along, the sweating, the anxiety attacks started to pick up. Anxiety was taking more time out of my day than my average work did, or even any social activity that I ever proceeded in. So I tried to book 2 days off each week. I said to myself, on these 2 specific days each week, I'm not gonna fucking work. Day off for social activities and self-care. Kept that up for 2-3 weeks. Then it started to get even more messy. Because I couldn't stick to it. Even when I said to myself that I have them 2 days off, I couldn't get all my work done before them 2 days hit. It was like I couldn't even hit a deadline. And suddenly, my brain just went mad. I was like, well, if I can't even hit a basic deadline, then what are my chances in life? I seriously considered at that point giving up. I considered fucking all my work, all my career, all the amazing, brilliant ideas I'd built out the window. Because I just could not do it. It got to a point I thought I was gonna come down with depression. There was a lot of time in a day where I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get out of bed. All I wanted to do was sit there and watch YouTube. Because again, that was the only place I felt safe and relaxed. As I said before on this channel, when I was younger, I used to have a severe YouTube addiction. I could watch YouTube hours and hours a day, nearly all day, and not care less. At that point, I tried a new tactic to try and get this anxiety under control. I started writing massive pieces of writing, intense emotional writing. Some of them I've been sharing on my website, which will be linked below. I tried getting all these deep things in my head onto paper, as I've been told works and I've used in the past. And believe you me, it did help. Then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to follow a to-do list. I'm not going to set deadlines. Fuck deadlines. I'm going to do work when I feel like work needs to be done. I realised that my self-well-being was more important at that current moment. For the first time in my life, my work was my second priority, and I was my first. And even till now, that is still the case. At this point, we are at the date of the beginning of last week. I thought that not following a schedule was helping. Writing all these intense feelings on paper was working. However, in reality, it really wasn't. All it was doing was pushing my anxiety to the side. I wasn't actually coping with it. For a week straight, I gave up. I had stopped. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to think. I was overthinking every aspect of my life to degrees I never overthought before. My girlfriend couldn't even send me a text message without me completely taking it out of context. I couldn't go and get a yogurt out of a fridge without thinking I was being judged for it. I couldn't order food at a restaurant without thinking that they don't like me anymore. You know, that's not what he ordered, so I can't order that. I'm gonna look stupid. My life was seriously being turned upside down, and I could not figure out how to stop it. It got to the point where I was walking through parks, going on these long walks, looking over a bridge and thinking, what am I doing? And I don't think that very often. At this point, I didn't know what to tell my counsellor. I was telling my counsellor this entire time that everything was fine. Because I was literally just about to finish counselling. Literally on the edge of it. But I didn't want to tell her that deep down, actually, I was in a wreck. There's points of this story that I can't even say out loud. Because there's people who don't know it. I was running into social boundaries and social challenges I don't think I'd ever seen before. This was a new level of anxiety I had never experienced. Instead of being anxious every so often or when something specific popped up, I was anxious 99.9% of the time. And at least once a day, I would reach a severe point. And for a full week, I could not function properly. For a full week, YouTube went out the window. Work was not even a thing anymore. I didn't have a to-do list. I didn't have a schedule. It was just, I'm just going to rock on with whatever comes. And that brings us to today. Because of that very intense week of severe overthinking, nearly having anxiety attacks every day, my stomach continuously turning over, even my diet going out the window. Like, I didn't want to eat. I'm normally a dude who, as soon as you give me a plate of food, my head's in that food and it will be gone before you can blink your eyes. My appetite has fucked over. I don't even know what's happened to it, but I struggle to eat 2 burgers now. Normally, 2 burgers to me are like freaking biscuits. So because of that rough week and how severe my anxiety's got, I've had to make some very rough decisions that are probably going to affect me career-wise. But as sad as it is, it's decisions I have to make for my own well-being. For my own health. Because I can't keep up the intensity of what I do now. It's not going to be possible. So, due to the idea that I now have to keep very strict self-care measures in place, I have to carry a fidget spinner around with me most of the day and just spin it whenever my stomach starts turning. For God's sake, I have Chinese balls that I swear to God I fiddle around more than my own penis. That's a really inappropriate joke, but you know what I mean. And also I have to keep a track of my anxiety on an Excel sheet, which I've only started this week. I've also had to make an anxiety guide for other people of how to deal with my anxiety. And for the first time ever, I've been the most honest I've ever been with a counsellor, probably since I started with her. Sadly, that counselling session didn't go too well, but I'm still figuring that all out. But it's got to the point now where I may have to go to a specialist. I've referred myself to a mental health organisation within the UK called CAMS. Well, I'm trying to get referred to that organisation anyway. It's not happened yet. We're still trying to figure it all out because there's a lot of complications with this. But we are trying to. I'm reaching out to get the specialist help I do really need at this point. Sad as it is, the basic coping mechanisms I'm used to using are not working anymore. And I need more advanced things to help me. So what does that mean for you guys? How is this going to affect you? First off, it means I probably won't be uploading 3 times every week. I will be uploading when I feel like it. When I can get a video out, I'll post one. But I can't promise you that I'll even get 1 video out a week, talking about 3. I just can't make promises. Because you can't track anxiety. You can't tell people when your anxiety is going to be high, low or medium. It just pops up. I might wake up one morning really determined to record, edit and get a video posted. By the middle of that day, my anxiety is soaring and suddenly I don't feel like it. And I have to go back to very basic self-care techniques to help myself. So again, I just can't promise that I'm going to be posting 3 times a week anymore. That's the first effect this is going to have. That's really the main effect it is. The only other thing I can think of is I might seem a bit more down, a bit more laid back in videos. I might not be as enthusiastic as I normally am. And some days, you might not even hear from me on Twitter or anything. I'm going to try really hard to pick myself back up to what I used to be. And I am trying each day harder and harder, because this is not just affecting my career life. This is affecting my relationships. This is affecting my social life and everything else revolving around that aspect. I'm surprised I still have friends. I'm surprised my girlfriend is still here. Because I have been the toughest piece of wood to work on ever. Been the toughest human being to keep with ever recently. And I can't thank the people who stand next to me every day enough. And I am sorry for the shit I've put you through. I really do appreciate everything you guys have done. That was pretty much all this video was about. I just wanted to convey how bad my anxiety was getting. And tell you how it's probably not going to be the same on here anymore. And I wouldn't rely on me for regular mental health updates anymore, because I don't know if every week I'm going to be able to get one up. I will keep you updated on this situation. More so on my website than I will on here. My website is linked in the description. However, I encourage anyone whose anxiety is picking up, please do not ignore it. I ignored it for too long, and look where I ended up. I urge you to talk honestly and openly to counsellors, more than I ever have. Because it doesn't get you anywhere if you don't. Don't be scared to step back from everything and look after yourself, as I think I was. Apart from that, I hope we're all jolly. I know I'm not, but I hope all you guys are. And I will catch all you dudes next time. See you later.